Good morning, everyone. My name's Hank Setala,
And I am Casey MacBride.
and this is Crazy Shamans. Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Stir Crazy Shamans. And just take a moment, if you've been getting inspiration from us, to invite others that you know to join us. And we always talk about fun, exciting, just playful things and weave in healing and possibility as we go. And I haven't talked to Casey at all this week, so I'm sure that we are just going to catch up and just see what's been going on in each other's worlds and what else is possible.
Yeah, man. Welcome, everybody. It's a beautiful life. I tell you what, this world is so incredible. I'm living the life of my dreams, and it's funny. For the longest time, I always dreaded summer because I hate the heat. Hank knows I'm a polar bear. I love the cold and the winter.
That's an understatement.
And I mean, there were things that I like about summer, like I love hiking and the pool opens up down here at the condo and all that stuff. But it was getting the scooter that really kind of changed my perception of it. It's funny, like now we'll have a rainy, stormy day, and I'm like, oh crap, man, I can't get out there on my scooter anymore. And so but then I've started to realize other things. I'm like, you know what, I can escape. I can get inside to my air conditioning. So I have my cool sanctuary when I need it. But I do like getting out and about and being out there and enjoying the world. And so, I was sitting down there at the pool after riding my scooter the one day, and I'm like, this is going to be a good summer. This is going to be a great summer. And I don't remember the last time I've said that because I don't like the summers. But yeah, I'm very excited. And you know what? So there was this thing, and I won't go into detail about what it was, but there was something kind of big in my life that was coming up, and I had been kind of worrying about it for about 3 weeks, and it was kind of weighing pretty heavy on me at times. And I was asking my guides for help. I was asking my angels, my gods and goddesses, and all of my nature beings and all of my spirits. I was just asking them, please just help me with this thing. Let this one thing happen. I need this thing to happen. And it was kind of a big thing. And then I think it was a couple days ago, it finally happened. The thing that I was asking for, and I really didn't know whether or not it was going to happen. And I just remember getting up that morning, and I was like, yes, just so high on life, and I was just sitting there, just floating with gratitude, and thank you to all of my spirits. And to me, it was again one of these reminders that not only are we the creators of our reality, but we have a team that will help us, our guides, our spirit allies. If you really ask them for help, if there's something you really need their help for, and you're open to receiving their help, then they will absolutely help you out. And again, this was something kind of big that I wasn't really sure how it was going to go, and it happened. And man, so it's been really, really on a high ever since then. Life has just been, it's always incredible, but that was another reminder of just how magical our reality is and how much of an influence we have over it.
That's awesome. And just putting these comments, we have Angela tuning in. I'm happy to be able to catch you guys here today. We have Mary, good morning from the Pineapples. We got Magic Mike saying hello. But that's an amazing story. And the biggest thing is, how often do we ask and then we're not willing to receive? I've given the example. It's like ordering a pizza, and then when it shows up at your house, you don't open the door. So we'll ask Spirit for things, but then the unwillingness to receive it, we think it doesn't show up, but was it just our unwillingness to receive the contribution we asked for? And you hit the nail on the head. You asked and you were able to receive.
Angela was saying, I would love to be able to hear or understand my spiritual team like you guys. So this is something that we can all learn to do. It just takes practice, and most of us are actually a lot more in tune than we realize. So I teach people, Angela. And that's one thing. If you did want to reach out to me, I can teach you how to communicate with your spirit allies. I offer one-on-one lessons for that. But one of the biggest things that I work with on people is just showing them how much they're already able to do. They've just convinced themselves in their heads that they're not able to communicate. They bought into points of view and people telling them that, you know, they're not able to. And that also there's a kind of a toxic, like false idea that goes around in especially the New Age community, where they think like having the first communication with your spirit guides or opening your third eye or all of these things have to be these big, profound, like explosive experiences. You got to work so hard, and then you work so hard, like you climb like the tallest mountain in the world, and you finally get to the peak, and then it's like there's just this nuclear explosion that happens, and that's just not how it works. And in most cases, you're already communicating with your spirit guides. You're already able to do it. It's literally just me pointing you in the direction, going like, "Hey, look, you can already do it."
Yep.
That's basically what I do.
And communication with source itself. There's a quote from Neil Donald Walsh at the very beginning of Conversations with God, that God talks to everyone all the time. It's not a question of who it talks to, but rather who listens. And it's our willingness, just like your one energy, I didn't know if it was going to happen, the willingness to receive, the willingness to be aware. And then you can have that communication. It's happening all the time. We're just turning a blind eye to a lot of the things showing up. That is this communication, because it's hardly ever words. It's usually something else. It could just come as feelings or thoughts, or hearing things, or just a knowing that the communication is occurring. But we start to compare ourselves and our gifts to other people, places, and things, and then figure we have it wrong because it doesn't show up the same way.
But I will also say that almost all of us can see and hear and talk to in words our spirit guides. It's just, again, we've convinced ourselves we can't. And I've taught dozens and dozens of people how to communicate with their spirit guides, and I've not come across a single one yet that wasn't able to both see and talk to in words with their spirit guides. You have to come across a single person who can't do that. It's just that they've convinced themselves they can't at first, and we have to get them over that hurdle. But the thing is, people have misconceptions about how like hearing your spirit guides or how seeing your spirit guides is supposed to happen. For example, with hearing, people think it's like it needs to be an audible experience, as though you're hearing like physical sounds. But oftentimes it comes through like our thought frequency. It comes through as like a thought kind of sound. And is one better than the other? No, they're both equally valid. And it doesn't make much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. And seeing, especially the same thing with seeing, people think it's like, it's going to be as clear as though you're seeing your physical hand in front of you. And while some people do have that degree of sight, for most people, it's like a mental image overlaid on top of the physical.
Yep, at fellowships, Elaine would give the example in class of starting to develop the thing of sight. If you close your eyes right now and you visualize what your bathroom looks like or what your kitchen looks like, and you kind of see the picture in your mind, oftentimes that's what like the visual comes from, or like those little conversations in your head. That's how like the hearing can happen and all that type of thing, or it's just sensations in the body. There could be a lot of different ways, but you can translate either one to a different type of way to communicate if you needed to.
Right. Yeah. So in truth, spirit doesn't communicate to us in words ever. Like when people want to hear and talk to their guides, spirit doesn't really actually communicate with us directly in words. I suppose it could. I know spirit can, but it's rare. So what really happens is there's a direct energy communication. Mm-hmm. There's an energy that's communicated. It hits our sensory apparatus, our Paqo, or our energy field, and then that is translated through our body, our nervous system. And what starts out, so the energy is translated into a very specific feeling, which is then translated into words, into a thought in our head.
Oftentimes you'll hear me say, like, I get a download. It's like a packet of energy, like when I get a clearing to run, for example, and it's almost like as it unpacks, like everything else forms. And it's hard to describe. That's just the way that it works for me, but it's similar that you get the information, then it's just a matter of interpreting it. In Conversations with God, he says that words are oftentimes the last choice because they are so open to misinterpretation that oftentimes words is the last resort for spirit that to get through to someone. But feeling is the language of the soul, how you feel about things, and the possibilities it can create, or the I don't want to say warnings, but like the things from spirit to say maybe a different choice would feel better here, that type of thing. But it's like the feeling is the language of the soul, and unpacking that.
Yeah, and we even communicate with ourselves. Our own thoughts begin as an energy, and then a feeling, and then become a thought. So think about it. If you really are very vigilant with your awareness, and you really pay sharp attention, or not sharp attention, but a focused attention, you'll notice, like, say for example, you have the thought of like, I would really like a taco right now. First, there's a very specific feeling in your body. That feeling becomes something so specific in your head that maybe it forms kind of like a general, there's like an energy that's not even words yet, if I would like a taco. But then that becomes the thought, I would like a taco. And so it's always happening even within us. And that's how communication happens in spirit. They just hit that part of us where the energy normally comes in. They kind of are not taking over that process, but to utilizing that process that we naturally use to form thoughts. But spirit uses that in order to communicate their unique messages, ideas, whatever, to us.
I'm laughing because, as you say about tacos, I get this random thing talking to me in my head saying taco cat spelled backwards is taco cat. It's a crazy random thought. I know.
I'll write this down. Hold on. Let's figure this out. I believe you, but I have to see it for myself now.
Oh, you don't believe that it says that?
No. I said I believe.
Could be lying to me.
I said I believe you, but I have to see this for myself. Yeah. So we're gonna do this on air. This is a new segment. This is called
The Random Meanderings of Hank's Mind.
And Spirit and the Taco Cat. Okay, so let's see.
Well, it's just Taco Cat, though, not Spirit and the Taco Cat, just Taco Cat. Anybody tuning in just now is wondering what that weird shiny thing is, but it's Casey's head.
Okay. Is this backwards? No, it's forward. Okay, so Taco Cat. So we go backwards. T-A-C-O. Taco Cat. It is. Look at that.
Yeah, Spirit doesn't let you down, man.
That's pretty wild.
And Mary just put it up, Taco Cat. Yeah, that we could have it as a comment. Someone could have just typed it for us.
Oh man, that's pretty wild. So and this is a great example. This is a great example of how, sometimes people get so serious and they think like, I want to communicate with my spirits because I need to know like what is my life's purpose and am I like, will I fulfill my life's purpose? And or you could just have fun and be open to Taco Cat.
Yeah, be open to Taco Cat. And I don't know which episode it was. I would have to go find it. But there was this whole episode where me and Casey and our spirit guides were like pookly-eyeing each other. And like I was like looking for my marshmallows and they were gone. And his spirit guide like misplaced them and aported them somewhere else. And then I finally found them. And it was this guy named Graham. And I'm like, well, if Graham is really being clever, he should like do something with the graham crackers. And no joke, man, I pull out this graham cracker and it looks like a bite has been taken out of it. And there's no extra piece in the package. A bite was taken out. And then it was just like the added.
Well, but before here's the most incredible part about the graham cracker thing was that Hank says this to me. Well, if his name's Graham, he should have said something to the graham cracker. My guy Graham says to me, tell him to look at the last graham cracker in the box. And so I told that to Hank, and then Hank looks, and there was the bite taken out of it.
Yeah, it's just, so like, what if it's all about fun and possibility and not being so serious? And if you could have that energy of play with them, maybe you would receive a whole bunch more because you're building like a different level of relationship. It's not just like when you need something. It's like you're having this friendship and this creatorship with the guides and all that. And Angela's saying, oh my God, I remember that episode. That was so good. And then I had a mess with Casey after that. My revenge was I sent one of my spirit guides, Moogie, over to his house, and it was like tormenting in a fun way his cat that night. And the cat was like,
and he slapped me on the while I was laying down to go to sleep. I got slapped on the belly. And then this guy looks at me and I can't remember what he said. He was like, Hank sends his regards or something like that. And then ran away.
It's all good fun. And Kimberly's joining in. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. And what are the unlimited possibilities today as we have our conversation around with guides? It really feels like today's energy is all about guides and communicating with guides and not taking everything so seriously.
Yeah, man. There's too much, there's too much seriousness and heaviness in the world as it is. So we as people who are open to more outside of this reality, who are open to communication with spirit. Like, we don't need to bring any more of that seriousness into it. And even if you are doing something that most people would say requires like you to be serious, right? Like when I work with people who maybe suffer from like some really horrible trauma, like they have PTSD or something, sure, I'm going to be reverent and respectful about the experience. But when I'm doing the actual healing work with my guides, I'm just playing. I'm in a playful energy. The whole thing is playful, and the energy flows so much more freely, and you're able to create so much more change when you're playful. Just feel it. If you sit there and you're serious about something, when you're just like seriously trying to focus and do something, you're really serious about it, you can just see it in your face. Your face is like contracted and constricted. And so everything's tight and constricted. So what does that do? That's constricting and slowing down the flow of life force energy that creates all of these beautiful things. Whereas if you're light and playful, look, everything in your body, your face opens up more, right? And like everything, your body is more loose and relaxed, and same thing, the energy is more loose and relaxed and flows much more freely when you're playful. So this is how you really create powerful change and begin to grow in a much more dynamic way and grow more quickly, is through play and not through being serious about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and there's a wonderful, well, that's actually our whole tagline for Stir Crazy Shamans, is changing the world through sacred play. And in the tradition that we practice, there's this wonderful word. It's so much fun to say. It's pukliai. So it's like, yeah, pukliai means play. Wilka pukliai is sacred play. The Kase Pacha, it's like the game of life. And what if you could just look at everything with that lightness of a child and not take things so seriously? And Kimberly was saying she's excited about guides, and she got a message that she's going to meet some new guides. And every culture around the world has different points of view around guides. Like spiritualism, they believe you have a spirit band, you come in with 7 guides, and then you have other ones come and go as you go. In our tradition, we have the Yanapak. 3 are animals, 4 are people, and that's kind of like your base, but then you have other ones come and go. So the fact that you're getting new guides, that's very exciting. I wonder what energy they will work with you with.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what song they're talking about. I play that song. I can't. Oh, maybe that must be the title. I can't feel my face when I'm with you.
Yeah, that's a song about cocaine.
Oh, well, that's a whole nother level of play, which I don't participate in, but cool. What's more interesting is that Casey knew that.
Well, I mean, I got my sources.
Oh no, she says she's joking now. Mm-hmm. Right,
mm-hmm,
sure.
Right.
But what would create more there? Well, so for people who are, well, I know that way back on the YouTube channel, there are some meditations that Casey did when we were first starting with COVID over a year ago. It's unbelievable that we've been doing this for over a year now. But there's like some, I believe, some spirit guide meditations where if you wanted to like get a little taste of Casey and how he like walks people through that, there's an old video. I'll look for it now, actually. Maybe I can find it and post it real quick. But that's a great example of what he does. And we are going to create a whole class around that. Or Casey will create it and I shall assist with it. And that's going to be a lot of fun. Let me grab
it. I'm really excited to offer that because, there are so many people, this seems to be a really big thing that more and more people are interested in learning to communicate with their spirit guides. And I think that is really, really cool because it's one of the most, how do I even put it? I think it's one of the most incredible things that we have access to as human beings, is this band of counselors and teachers and family members and friends and support group and that are always with us, that we can always call on. They're our greatest healers, they're our greatest teachers, and so much more, and our friends. And so many people go their whole lives without ever making contact with them. And they really want to help us. It's funny because there were times in my life when I was calling on their help for healing or like guidance and things like that very often. And I remembered at one point I was like, hey, I'm sorry, I keep calling on you guys so much, like, to help me out with this stuff. And they just expressed, they're like, no, man, this is why we're here. This is why we're following you around for this whole incarnation, is for you to ask us to help you. We want to do everything we can to help you to live your life to the fullest, to live your lightest, most perfect life. And so our guides are here for us. They want to help us. So absolutely turn to them, learn to communicate with them. It's very simple. It's so simple to do. It's so simple that people almost discount it when I actually teach them. Sometimes it's so simple. People have the experience. They see their guide face to face, they have a conversation with them, and they're almost like, oh, well, I was like, I already could do that. I'm like, I know, that's what I was telling you. But then they don't ever really take it any further than that, and it kind of me a bit, but it is so beneficial, and I'm guilty of going through periods of time where I don't communicate with my guides as much as I would like to. But whenever I do, I have this one guide, Graham, the one who was messing with the graham crackers, the marshmallows. But every time I sit there and I'm like, hey guys, I know I haven't communicated with you guys in a while. Like, I'm sorry. He always mentions me. He's like, hey, Casey, just remember, we only have eternity together. We're on a very limited time schedule here. We only have the entirety of eternity. So yeah, whether you start communicating with your guides when you're a little kid and you continue to communicate with them forever, or you're 90 years old and you're just now getting interested in communicating with your spirit guides, doesn't matter. Start the process, and it will be a beautiful thing for you and your guides. I can guarantee you.
Yep. And I did post a link to the spirit guide through from Casey in the comments. And then I also, when I searched for that, I found the one where we were having the practical jokes with spirit, and I posted that link as well. So those are two really fun episodes to check out. They're all fun episodes. We have had a blast doing all of this and continuing to offer a little lightness for everyone. And Angela was saying, as soon as I click on it, that she listened to one of those a long time ago now, but I remember it was seriously amazing. His voice and words were magical. Like, Casey has one of those voices. Like, so many of his YouTube videos, people are commenting for that I forget what it's called.
ASMR.
Yeah, and they're just like, oh, this is ASMR heaven, because he's got this voice that's like soothing and like pulls people in. And people like will listen to his videos. They have no interest maybe in anything he's actually talking about. It's just his voice drawing you in and helping to hold the space for you to have healing.
Yeah. ASMR is like it's audio sensory. I can't remember something. But it's where people get this, but in particular, like signs, like in response to certain soft kind of like sounds like that, they get this tingling on their skull, like this tingly sensation, like a physical reaction to audio stimulation. So it's interesting. But yeah, when I'm doing the meditations, I put on this kind of like. You're real close.
It's autonomous sensory meridian response. That's not right. Or is that another? That's another.
No, that could be it. That's probably it.
Okay. Yeah. So autonomous sensory meridian response. I don't know. That doesn't feel. Well, maybe.
No, I'm pretty sure that's it.
I think I just reality slipped, man. That is not what it stood for 10 minutes ago, I think.
Yeah. I get real topic. I get close to the mic and I'm like, and welcome to the world of spirit. Walking down the path, find yourself in the most beautiful environment and see yourself as a beautiful butterfly. I have no idea how that sounds. And but it's funny because when I do pre-recorded videos, this microphone actually has really, really, really good quality, but as soon as I go onto StreamYard, like the quality, it really drops on this microphone.
Well, you can also change the that, like, you might want to change, like, do it for the podcast settings or whatever it is. Like it is editing the audio down, but for people, it says if you have a professional audio setup, you can unclick that box and it might change it. You can even play with that now if you want.
I'm good.
Okay, I just figured I'd throw it out there.
Yeah.
Let's see. And
here.
Yes, tingly feelings in my head and my whole. I think my whole body shivers and shakes with sounds, or especially around Selfhealing. And now she's like, "Damn, I want to be a beautiful butterfly."
So these are two people right here who are watching who experience ASMR. Not everyone gets that. There's I think it's a certain portion of the population experiences ASMR in response to those kinds of sounds. That's hilarious.
I know. So some of your videos now, you threw that tag in so people can find you easier. And it's like, all right, yeah. I think. Well, with one video, I know. I think it did. Well, maybe I'm thinking of something else. I don't know.
Okay, I probably could have. I had one of them.
As long as people are finding you anyway, might as well make it easier.
Right.
Hmm. So, like, what typically, when you are in that space where you are not communicating with your guides as much, like, is there a particular, do you just become aware of it? Like, oh, I better think of that. Or is it like spirit, like tapping you, like saying, reminding you, or like, what's your cue to recognize that you were not as present as you could have been with guides?
Um, well, typically it's not. Well, I don't know how to put it. It's different. I mean, there are certain scenarios where I suddenly know, like I need to ask them what's going on, and well, how to put it. There have been situations where I've been literally in danger, and they'll come through really loud, like something really really loud and clear. Where like I'll get this crazy like emergency broadcast tone, just
Yep.
this like.
I get the same thing. They call it the need to know channel. Like if there's something imminent that is required for me to be aware of, I will get a very specific audible tone in my ears. And then I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, I need to tune in and I see what I get.
and it's a company. That sound is a company with the feeling of in the body of like dread of like something horrible is going to happen. And I remember the one time I was walking. I don't think I've told this story. I was walking through the forest with my girlfriend at the time, and we were taking our time, and we had all trails pulled up, and it said we had, like I think we had assumed we had like half a mile to go, and the sun was it was like starting to get like down towards setting, but we're like, oh, we got a half a mile, we got plenty of time to make it back to the car and all this stuff, and so we were just taking our time and walking through, and then I got this boo, that crazy tone and the feeling of dread. And I'm like, whoa, did you feel that? And she's like, what? So I tuned in, I asked my guides, and they're like, run. They're like, you need to get out of this forest now. And I was like, dude, we need to get out of here immediately. So I pulled up my map and I looked, and we were like 3 miles away. We thought we had like half a mile to go. We had like 3 miles to go. And so we were like literally just sprinting through the woods, and there was no way in the amount of time left we had versus how far we had to go that we would have made it back before dark. But I asked them, I'm like, guys, I need your help. We need to bend time around this whole whole reality. So I really we were working to bend time, and I literally watched as time stood still, like the sun didn't move, and we were running through the forest, and we got to the car, and then it just started to drop. We got in the car. And I didn't tell her this until we got back to the car. But my guides were communicating to me that if we hadn't booked it back, if we hadn't made it back, one, we would have gotten lost in this forest, and two, someone was walking through the forest that had a gun that would have shot one of us and killed us. So that was like an emergent. So that was an example of like emergency broadcast tone, where it's like, dude, listen to your guides, because they will literally save your life if you listen to them sometimes.
And the question that I would invite everybody to ask in the morning is, what would it take for me to walk hand in hand with my guides today and receive anything they're willing to contribute? Because right there, you're giving them an open green light to interact and communicate with you, and then you can receive things like that, because it's Casey's willingness to receive. And sometimes they may come through regardless of you saying a question like that. But if you do that every morning and you do that throughout the day as you remember, you will start to have a much more conscious, aware, and interactive dialogue with them about everything, because it doesn't have to be about just the serious stuff, but just the willingness to receive whatever they could contribute is a huge step in the right direction. And she's saying that is amazing. That is an amazing story. You haven't said that one on there before. It's not
No,
with me.
no, I haven't. That was the first time I told that one. Yeah, that was a powerful experience, and she could feel it too. Like after I told her that, she tuned into her guides, and her guides were the same thing. They were like, run. They were like, run as fast as you can, get out of this forest. So both of our guides were screaming in our ears.
They probably would have mistaken Casey for some grizzly bear with that beard of his.
Yeah, right. Hey, it's trimmed now, man. I got it trimmed up. It's
I know. I messaged Casey. Well, last night I was really thrown off because it's like 10 o'clock and I forgot. I think I just caught a little bit of the stream that you did with the positive pineapples. And I'm looking and I see his beard and I messaged him. I'm like, did you trim your beard or is my mind playing tricks on me? And like, And he did, in fact, trim his beard. And he responded, I'm like, well, not only did you trim your beard, you're up after 10 o'clock. What world, what reality am I in right now? Because both things are like things I never would have dreamed from Casey, being up that late and beard being trimmed.
Yeah, he was like, who are you and what have you done with Casey?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm Dark Dream Eater.
Kimberly's like, I always love how Hank's words things. I'm like a wordsmith, is what Ernie Bentz calls me. I'm definitely like a yatchai person, but I love how just phrasing things like that to create possibilities. And Angela's laughing, ha 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 ha. And what is up with your bedtime recently? I'm so surprised to hear from you after 9 o'clock. It's like sometimes I'll get like a good night voice thing or something, like just saying how awesome the day was or anything like that. But beyond 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock is like unheard of for me to really hear from you. And that's been like twice now recently that I've been surprised with this.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just been staying up.
The scooter's changing his life, man. He's like, with the scooter, I could be out later and all kinds of things. Yeah. And Angela was on the stream last night. Brian and I did a midnight meanderings, and apparently beards cause her crazy anger. And so we were inviting the question, like, well, what is that really about? So that's interesting. Like, I thank you for tuning in anyway. Like, just being present with us. And last night and to now is, technically this morning, and now like dealing with 3 people with beards, but mine's like a little bit not so crazy as their guys's.
Yeah. So what is that? What's the trauma? What's the wound? Who hurt you with a beard? Who had a beard that traumatized you? That's a question.
Or traumatize somebody, because what if it's not your trauma and you witnessed a trauma, like someone with beard could have done something to a parent, a loved one, a friend. It could have been, I gave the example last night, a substitute teacher that wasn't kind, or Brian mentioned yesterday, what if it's a past life type of thing? But if you're really willing to look at it, just like ask, where's the original wound here, and see what bubbles up, and don't judge it. Just see what bubbles up, and then you can start working through it.
Yeah. What was this? I was pulling up this comment. I snap my fingers and just say what Hank said.
Oh yeah, but that's a tool. Like, it's about the energy. So if you ever run into something, if you like the way that I phrase things, you could say anything Hank would say, I'll have that, please. And you'll be calling upon an aspect of my consciousness to facilitate a change for you. You're the same thing with Casey. Both Casey and I have channeled each other in healing sessions, or for things like, I think Casey channeled me to do some sort of WordPress thing that he didn't know how to do. And I had one client that had this crazy pain that I brought Casey through me, and I'm chanting and doing the light language like Casey, and their pain vanished. So we are potent beings, and all it takes is really the willingness to ask and receive.
Yeah, absolutely. We're infinite beings of spirit, and because we are in truth are at our essence, we're that field. We're just the space. We're the space that allows things to be. We're this one moment, the now, the one thing in all of creation, the isness, the oneness. And so our body is just a vessel, but we're connected to all times, places, things. And so we can call upon the energy of anything, anywhere, wherever we are. So I do that, oftentimes in healings, especially if it's something that needs more like mental processing, I'll call on Hank's spirit to come in and help me with that. And there's a beautiful way to do it in Quechua, where I'll say, Yari Hatan Hank Setala. And so that's like victory and praises to the higher mind, or the I don't know if there's a better way to translate that. Hank Setala.
Great mind is it's like the higher self consciousness.
What
you're saying. But it literally translates to higher mind, and mind could also be used for skulls. So like everybody knows, I'm kind of like the skull shaman now. Never planned to be, but I have a lot of them. And so Hatan Uma could also refer to a skull if you have like crystal skulls and things that you want to use. But you can call them the higher self of anyone. I call Zane in for my sessions, and
I do.
Other healers. And if I don't know somebody that I know has the medicine, I'll ask, like, well, do I know somebody? And there was one healing, I was working with somebody. They're like, well, she needs the 13th rite of Moon Key, and that's like a 4 winds thing. I'm like, well, I don't know that. I'm like, they're like, you know someone who knows that. I'm like, okay, who? And I got Lisa Marie Whitefeather, and she's like a local here in the area, but I didn't really know much about her. So I channeled Lisa, and I go through this whole thing, and then I check afterwards, and sure enough, she's trained with the 4 winds, and she knew the 13th rite of Moon Key, which is all about womb healing. And so without even knowing who had the medicine, asking the question, I had an awareness, and then I asked that with that awareness, ask for that presence to come and assist, and it happened like magic. But
she was on my stream. She was on my stream last night. Yeah,
cool.
and I performed her shoulder. Was like really bothering her, and she had like really bad 7 out of 10 pain, and we're able to completely eliminate it.
Awesome.
So that was my
first. You got to meet her.
Yeah, that was my first real interaction with her. I'd seen her. I think we're friends on. Well, I know we're friends on Facebook, and I'd seen her pop up like on the news feed and stuff. I'd never interacted with her, and so that was my first actual interaction. It's really cool.
She's pretty cool. She just came to like a while back. She just this was back when I was still at the Lakewood office, so over 3 years ago. She just came in to chat. Like there was something about the energy, and we had like this amazing conversation. We haven't talked much since, but it was like I think it might have been the whole Four Winds thing that prompted the connection. Then, like as soon as that happened, like all of a sudden, she came into my world. So like maybe me called on her for real, and she came out to have a chat. So it's wonderful how spirit works. But an invitation too, you don't have to know who. I love asking the question, what guide, what being of light, what other aspect of divinity has the medicine for this? Please come here now. And you don't have to have a name or a specific framework for that consciousness. You can just know that you know someone, and all you have to do is tap in and call them.
Yeah, I do that in almost every single one of my healings, especially when I'm working with like physical pain. You know, where is my Misha?
He just realized I'm naked without my Misha.
So you know, I'll call in. That's what I do if I'm working with physical pain. Hey, any beings of light, any energies, with or without form, that hold the perfect medicine to reverse and heal whatever this is, to find the original wound, to mend the energy field, to bring about total healing of the spirit, soul, energy matrix, body, and beyond, to create total and perfect healing, ease, peace, and comfort now and forever, something like that. Call them in, and so I don't know who I'm calling on, but I know so many people through my journeys in this life, journeying through the realms of spirit, and what I've recalled of my past lives in this life. Like I know so many people. I've met so many incredible spiritual beings, so many powerful masters. I know, and they're all, you know, they all have different skills and abilities and things that they specialize in. And so, you know, I'd have to have this giant book and like a phone book to flip through, and like I'd never be. So, you know, like if I were to know, like, oh, I need to call on this guide for this specific thing. So instead of that, just calling, you know, whichever one of you, I know all you guys like are listening. So whoever holds the perfect medicine, come on, bring it here.
And in truth, on some level, you do know every aspect of divinity in the entire universe and beyond.
Yeah.
So, like, it is like when we call in Ompwe, part of that is like heal what the soul's already healed, an acknowledgement that at some place in space time, you are perfect. You have never been wounded, or you're already healed, and there's nothing to heal. And in that higher space, like, you are in connection with anything and everything in the cosmos. And you have an in. You have an in with everything. You don't have to know them, have met them in a physicality. There is no limitation unless you create one.
Yeah. Oh, and I see we got some comments.
Thank you. This is so good. And Angela making a comment. We were both thinking about comments at the same time, apparently. But she says, yes, I've never been one to ask for things. Well, pot and pock that. Anyway, we'll get into it clearing in a second, maybe. But she's never been one to ask for things. But yesterday, I asked God and the universe for more financial abundance. And this morning, my husband told me he got a raise this morning. So how does it get any better than that?
Yeah.
But what would it take for us to be willing to declare our will to the universe of what we would desire our life to look like, and have the willingness to receive that contribution back? What space could we hold to not have to settle? Because the universe is infinite. So, like, what if in that space, it is always okay for you to say, universe, I am willing to receive more. What could you contribute to me? What energy could I be to demand that? Like a declaration of your will, not like demand like a kid wanting something, like a demand like, this is the decree of what I'm choosing to create into the universe, and I'm going to be the space and willingness to receive the contribution back. That is Aini, the divine reciprocity.
But look at that. So this was like an instantaneous thing. Yesterday, she asked for more financial abundance. And this morning, her husband got a raise. That's like a very powerful instance. So this is in my like just awareness of that. The universe was sitting there waiting. It's like, we got all this abundance for you. But you haven't asked and you're not willing to receive it yet. So finally you open up more willing and they're like, poof, and they just dropped it right on you. So like, how much more could you have been receiving if you had asked and you were willing to receive prior to this? Yeah. And going forward, how much more can you receive if you continue to ask for more and more and more and are willing to receive more and more and more? And there's nothing selfish about that. Like that's, we should absolutely create the most incredible, spectacular, fun, beautiful, abundant reality that we possibly can. Because why not? Who told you that was a selfish thing? Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just nodding in agreement.
Oh, okay. Because I feel like we've got a lot of these like subconscious ideas where people are like, well, I have enough, like I don't need anything, and there are other people that need more than me, and all of this. And well, sure, but also, maybe there are people that need more than you. But what if you asked and opened up and had so much abundance that then you were able to give forward to those people who were in need?
There's enough abundance in the universe for everybody to have everything that they require and then some. That's how abundant the universe is. And what you had the raise this morning, the question I would invite you to ask is, how does it get any better than that? And the universe is going to bring something else that's going to create more abundance. And you create this upward spiral of possibility when you can be in the space of like, wow, cool. I am grateful for what showed up, because we're acknowledging what showed up. And universe, I am willing to receive more. How does it get any better? And you just keep with that. And you just start creating. Casey's a great example from 1 year ago to today, how much he has created in his life, and this upward spiral that just keeps getting better and better and better. Oh, and we got Anthony. I'm quick on the draw today for the comments. But he's like, good afternoon, Paqos. Happy Friday. I'm out on the road listening. How's your ankle, Casey? Did Casey have a bad ankle experience?
Yeah. So this actually happened. Well, I'll just answer your question first, Anthony. It still hurts. It's painful today. It was actually really painful today. So whenever you are home, let me know, because after this stream, I'm pretty much free for the day. So I'd love to come over and have you work on it. So it is painful. No, this happened. I don't know if this was the exact first event, but it may have been. In my memory, it's the first time I remember it happening. Was during the apprenticeship. We were what day was it? What were we doing? What was the initiation? It was at the ledges or something. We did the flowering exercise.
Was it Nelson Ledges? What was the ledges? It was one of those places where we went out into the field for the flowering or biofuel.
And then we were coming down. We were coming down a little hillside, and I was helping someone down. I was like holding their hand as I was helping them down. And then I wasn't really looking where I was putting my foot, and I stepped down and like rolled my ankle really, really bad. And that day I couldn't walk on it hardly at all that day. And then ever since then, I'll go through a whole 3-week period where it doesn't give me any problems at all, and then randomly it'll start to really, really hurt, and then it's like hard to walk.
I remember there was one time on a hike, like after the hike, like the next day, you were having like a lot of foot pain. I don't know if that was before or after the apprenticeship incident.
There are two things. There's that ankle thing that started about a year ago, and then there's another thing that's been reoccurring for like 6-7 years, and it rarely happens, but every once in a while, there's this thing. It's like, how to describe it? A little below where the base of my toes meets like my foot, the ball of the foot, I think you call that, or maybe I don't know what do you call it. Anyway.
Well, you're the one with the
anatomy.
You should know it.
I know. So where the metatarsals connect to the tarsals.
See, those are words that's crazy talk to me. I don't know any of that stuff.
But
I call it Casey's energy when I need to know.
But in that area, it's something happens. It feels like almost a circulation, some kind of like circulation weird thing or something. But it gets so painful that I can't put any pressure on it whatsoever. Like if I'm not expecting it. If I'm not expecting it and I go to get up in the morning and like it's happened overnight where it starts, and I go to get up and step on it, I will literally fall over and collapse on the ground because of how painful it is. And then it'll be that painful sometimes for 2 days, 3 days, and then it'll start to heal, and then it's gone, and then I don't hear from it. Sometimes I won't hear from it for a whole year, and then all of a sudden it'll hurt for like 3 days, and then I'm good for another like year. Or sometimes there have been occasions where it's happened, and then like a month later it's happened, and a month later it's happened, but then like a whole year went by and it didn't happen. So it's,
next time you're at the office, if I have those little weighted tuning forks, either a 1/3, I'll put one on the desk, and if you want to take one home and try it, you can just combine it with acupressure points and see if just a tuning fork with the acupressure points might result in a little bit more ease. And I also got the Healy device, and you can do guinea pig for me. I actually jokingly the other day, someone's like, "What is it?" I'm like, "I call it Casey in a box," because it's an FDA approved medical device for pain. And so I can hook it up to people while I do my other stuff, and it can address like arthritis and all these other things.
Casey in a box.
Casey in a box, yeah, because you're like one of the best physical pain healers I've ever encountered. So like if I'm too lazy to channel Casey, or because I don't want to have like this aversion to heat, if I channel Casey like a side effect, I'm just making that up.
Aversion to heat. Side effects of channeling Casey may include aversion to heat.
Yeah, and wanting to take long walks through the park. Yeah. And then Angela was asking, well, for one, Casey says he can fix it, and Kimberly was saying healing for Casey. But Angela was asking, can you work on yourself, or do you need someone else to do the healing? Both, I think.
That is a great question. So for me, I have found mental, emotional things, I can absolutely work on myself, especially with the help of my guides. Like if I'm feeling really depressed or anxious or whatever, I can ask my guides to help me, and I can run energy process where I can really bring myself from a really bad emotional place into a place where I'm ecstatic and loving life and joyful, and all of that. And so but with physical healing, if it's physical pain or whatever, I almost can do absolutely nothing for myself. I can't make any progress whatsoever on myself. If I had the same pain, if these same pains were on someone else, 2 seconds, if it was another person, it'd be gone for good. But on me, I've never been able to heal myself physically.
Isn't that interesting? And everything under that destroyed and created, like that would really be something. Let's create some free time, and if you want, we can dive in, and maybe I could help facilitate something around that as well. And then Kimberly was offering the Selfhealing Hertz Forks, which I think I used on you in our very first healing thing ever, if I remember. It's kind of, but they work really good for pain, and that's like a whole body healing. And Angela, she's saying, Casey in a box, laugh out loud. I paid big bucks for one of those. It's called the Healy, and the one I have is called the Renaissance, and it's like retail is like a $2,500 device. So to big bucks, you got it. $2,500, you too could have Casey in a box. And I think that since I bought one, I can sell them, but I haven't looked into any of that kind of thing. But if you're really interested, message me, and I think they have a sale till the end of the month where it's a significant discount. And if you're not going to use it as a practitioner, you don't need the top of the line one. There's other ones that you can just run programs. And Kimberly's saying, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, so Zane has said the same thing. Zane has said there are many healers who, if it was an issue in someone else, they have no problem clearing that, healing that, but then they need to go to another healer in order to heal it themselves. So Zane said the same thing. It's just it's a thing. It's a thing that happens.
Well, and I have the same issues. I end up getting facilitated from others when I run into something. That we all run through those things, and some things you can self-facilitate out of, self-heal out of, and there's other things that for whatever reason you're not willing to perceive, know, be, and receive it, or maybe you going to somebody and receiving a healing from them is a contribution to them as well, and there is an interplay with that we're just that works out too. Now there's all kinds of comments. I'll let you play with the comments of what you want to bring up next.
All right.
Because I've been quick at the draw all morning.
So Anthony was saying, I've been successful in healing myself emotionally and physically. Facilitating my own healings is what brought me here and given me the ability to facilitate healing for others. I'm grateful. Yes, Tony is, I will say this right now, he is the only person I have ever met other than myself able to consistently perform the kind of physical healing for other people that like I can. He's the only one other than myself that I'm not able to do this. And I know why. It's because he is a fragment of me. He is one of my soul pieces. But yeah, so.
Oh, no, I just had a really cool thought of next time I channel you, how I'm going to call it in. But anyway, I'm gonna keep it to myself for now. I'm gonna try it for. I'm gonna do it first, and then I will let you know of my results.
And Kimberly says healers need healing energy also. Yes, we do. Yeah, healers need healers. We do. Antonio's just saying I'm learning. He's learning about the sun with the smiley face on it.
I like that emoji. That's a cool sun emoji. Little things amuse me. I like it. Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I don't know what the exact reason was. I have some awarenesses around it. Like, for example, my first ever real human teacher, the first person not only that taught me, but one of the first people that I ever met that was aware of energy and spirit and could do and see and experience the things that I could do. Back, this is a long time ago. She was also an angel incarnate. One of the only other angel incarnates I've met besides myself and Tony, who is me. But she said to me that it's almost impossible to heal an angel. Angels are very difficult to heal, she said. And who knows, maybe that point of view stuck with me deep in my subconscious because she said that. Could be something around that. I have no idea. But I do know that, I don't know. Who knows? I'd have to think back to the timeline, but it's been a long time. And ever since I've been doing healings, this is like 13 years I've been doing these kind of healings now. And I always remember trying to heal myself and doing work on myself, and just never being able to make any progress.
I suspect that anything is possible.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible.
No, it's kind of like, well, it's kind of has this energy of a challenge. Like, well, let's get Casey to the point where he can do that.
Yeah. So like I said, mental emotional stuff I'm great with. If I'm because sometimes I you don't catch it. It's like the next thing you know, it's been like 3 hours and you've really been like heavy and all this stuff, and you just like haven't done anything about it. But then when I catch it and I remember, then I have no problem. Like I can move really heavy emotions. I can take myself from a place where I'm super depressed, anxious, whatever, and within a short period of time, I'm able to bring myself to a very light, spacious, peaceful, loving state. Very short period of time. So mental, emotional stuff, very, very skilled at healing myself. But physical pain, I don't know. I can't do anything about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing. What energy can we be to create a different possibility around that? And my Chick Bite's offering an ompui, bring your healing here.
What's an omfrey?
Well, he spelled it omfrey. But there's actually an H, like if you were spelled it like how it looked, and not that there's any actual correct writing, you would almost say Humphrey, like with an H, because it's a like H at sound at the beginning. But anyhow,
there's no R in Humphrey.
I don't care. Who cares? It's not the R is silent, man.
The R is silent. So is the Q and the L and the X and the Z.
Yeah, all that stuff. It's, you just
throw every letter in there.
And while Casey was talking, I was getting these shivers, and I heard that's not true. So yeah, like we're lying to, like you have the ability to heal yourself always. It's just a question of what are you not willing to perceive, know, be, and receive about that. That if you were willing to perceive, know, be, and receive, could change everything around us with total ease.
Yeah, really. I know it's possible because there was one experience where it was that toe pain I was talking about that like completely incapacitates me for 3 days. That kind of horrible pain. And I had that one time, and it was my first run through the apprenticeship, and Zane was guiding us through this experience of like the creation of the universe from the total void to like the first mover, and going through like all the way through the creation of this planet and the mountains coming down and like the glaciers melting, forming the oceans, and like the first plants and animals coming into being, all the way through the creation of everything up until me. And just going through that process of having the direct experience of the creation of all things as me, as the divine creator of all of that. Like, I've known that, but to have like such a visual and sensory direct experience of that, then after that, I was sitting there with my pain, and I'm like, I created all of this. I can uncreate anything. All this. And so, boom. And then it immediately started to shift. The pain dropped down by like half, and then by the next day, it was like almost completely gone.
See, so you have done it.
Mm-hmm. Just my normal methods of like. So I don't know. Maybe I just got to go through that whole process.
Yeah. So we go into your non-normal methods and go into your insane methods, and maybe that has the medicine for you.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain. Yeah, that's a great song. We used to play Mario Kart to that, jamming to like. To that and playing the races. Yeah. Fact check, Mike. He's fact checking Casey. Yep, that's not true. Fact check. Absolutely. And my sister's tuning in. Hugs and love, Casey and brother Hank. Cool. Oh.
Hugs and love to you as well.
I didn't mean to click on that yet, but since I did, human perception and life is the meat suit, I call it. I was trying to click off of the one comment and click the new comment by accident, but it was timely, so all good.
Human perception and life in the meat suit, I call it. Until the lesson is learned.
The challenge shall continue. The challenge continues until you realize that it could come to you with ease, joy, and glory.
That sounds like an actual good fortune cookie. You know, like a lot of the fortune cookies. Like, what the hell did that mean? Like that. This sounds like an actual, like, if they actually spent time trying to write out good sayings on fortune cookies. Until the lesson is learned, the challenge.
One of my first jobs was washing dishes at a Chinese restaurant, and there was this one table that the fortune that the lady got was so offensive to her that she wanted her entire meal for free. It was probably just someone wanting a free meal, but the fortune was hope for the best and prepare for the worst was the fortune that made her so angry.
Oh man, yeah, that's horrible, man. If someone said that to me, I'd be fisticuffs, man.
Yeah, it's like, wow, I want my free meal. Let's see. His cat is on one of my magical friends. He has a place. That is so out of the blue, Mike. I don't know fully in what context you're referring to things. And then money come contribute, please and thank you. Absolutely. Why not? And it came through spirit. Maybe this is how fortune cookies are quoted. Anthony, maybe, or Tony, maybe that's a whole separate business. You have the positive pineapple. You could have positive fortune cookies that you sell. You can give them to all your clients when they leave, and they could have their little positive pineapple fortune. There we go. How does it get better than that?
Or it could be positive pineapple fortunes, where you get a pineapple, and in the core of the pineapple is a fortune. There we go.
I'm all good for that. I just bought a pineapple. I'm going to cut it up and grill it on the grill. I got some of those little grill mats that you have. They had them on sale at Aldi's cheap. I was like,
yeah.
So good. Oh, he's talking about Zane's cat. Cool. And, you know, Zane's cat just passed away. The cat's name is Aster, which actually means star. I never realized that. It's so much more significant now that I know the cat's name. It's pretty cool.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's sad, man. But, you know, in truth, death is not a sad thing. And there is no such thing.
It's a celebration. Death. And literally, the cat passed right around 5:30. At 5:35, I didn't make the connection until about an hour after, where my wife and I are sitting outside in the sunroom. We're looking out, and this black cat. And we've seen the black cat around our property before, and it's known for killing the birds at the bird feeder, like hunting them. But it comes out of the bushes like about 5:35, and the cats have like these glowy eyes, but these were like outwardly, like glow stick glowy, like just bright yellow, like just glowing. And even my wife's like, that is really bright even for a cat. And then I put the things together a little bit later. That was right after Zane's cat had transitioned, and I took it as a sign of Aster coming to say, hey, we're good, I'm all good, because I've been doing a lot of energy work around it for a week leading up to it, and it was just like such a cool little confirmation. And then I sent Zane, like, look at the picture who came to visit us at 5:35, and he's like, wow. So just it's great how the universe gives us these assurances that even in death, you know, there really is no end to the relationship or the creationship. It just changes form.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kimberly was saying, I'm loving this. I said yesterday, I am a pineapple.
We're all pineapples. I got to get together with Tony and Mary still and do the little sound stuff for him.
Let's all get together. Let's get together and feel all right. Oh,
Yeah.
one love,
No, we did all hike
one
together.
heart.
I was gonna say
Give
we
thanks
all.
and praise to the Lord, and we
Oh,
will feel
Puklei.
all right. Oh, sorry, I'm done.
That's all right. Well, we had gone out on Casey's birthday hike together, and the thing is, like, Casey's a fast hiker. Like, I've gone on hikes with Casey, and like especially in West Virginia, and he's just like Speedy Gonzalez, just a dust trail. And so Casey's fast. Now, granted, it was the first hike of the season. Mary and Tony are faster, so it made me feel really good about my hiking ability because Mary and Tony were like way up there. Me and Casey are like coming up the rear, but we got to actually hang out where we have the ability to talk because we were so far apart. We didn't get to communicate as much as I would have liked that day because they were the Speedy Gonzaleses. And Tony's like, yes, let's get together. Let's get together soon. Especially Casey's got the pool, but now we could all be little Paqo
Yeah,
beach bums around the
dude.
pool.
Like, okay, let's hang up here, and then you guys come over. Let's hang out at the pool now. Like right now.
I can't do it right now. I got to
you
go up to the
can.
set. No, I
You're
have
an
a
infinite being. You're an infinite being. You can do
I
whatever you want.
could, however, I'm setting up at 1 o'clock for a rental this weekend, so I have a commitment, so I will not. However, maybe after that, we'll see how long it takes me.
Okay.
So, yeah. But she says, yes, let's get together soon. Awesome, awesome. And a blessed up journey. Whoops, wrong one.
Tony says he's on his way.
On his way.
Come on over, dude.
I was trying to click on this one, blessed up journey and transition kitty. I think I'm not sure how that was supposed to come out, but we get the energy of it. And yeah, Anthony's on his way. See, now you got me all thinking about it. And the kids are done with school too. So.
Oh yeah.
Road trip, teleport, absolutely. Teleporting is a thing if you allow it to be.
Dude, that would be the best superpower you could ever have.
Yeah, because you think the scooter's good. Imagine if you just poof to where you wanted to go.
Oh my god, that dude! Can you imagine, like, like say you're, like I'm doing my healings or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I got an hour in between healings. I'm gonna head to Thailand and grab a nice noodle bowl for lunch, and just pop right back here. And then, oh, it's a little warm out there today. I'm gonna head on top of Mount Everest just to chill out and cool off for 5 minutes. So many possibilities.
But later on today, I'll message you and actually, I have access to your acuity. I can see where you have free time in the week. I'd be like, hey, if you block out here, maybe we can come over and swim on this day.
Yeah, let's do it. I want to.
Also depends if you're open to the kids, because now I got the kids with me too. But they'll be fine. They would run around and do whatever, and then Shirley wants to come too. Cool.
Yeah, come on over.
And let's see. And Angela is saying, she is a fast walker, but not on purpose. I was always running, being dragged by my hand by my mom to catch the city buses. Laugh out
loud. Nice. Yeah, I wasn't a fast walker until hiking with my cousin through the desert in Arizona and through the mountains in Colorado and stuff, because it was you have to hike fast or else you're not going to get anywhere. You can run out of water and food and all this stuff.
Yeah, see, and I would be one that would just go and not plan for any of that, and then realize afterwards, this was really a bad idea not to plan.
Yeah,
it's like shaman party.
Shaman party. Let's party with the shaman.
Yeah, but we are actually over an hour now. Wow, where does the time go? This is such just a awesome conversation all around.
Yeah, that was a fun one. This is good.
We always say that. That was fun.
We were in the flow. Today, man.
Yeah. And we look really similar because we both have freshly shaved noggins, so that's good. I just got to grow my beard out that it could be a little bit more like Casey, but then we would lose our one viewer. Angela would be like, oh, Hank has a long beard, I'm out. We have to get her in for a healing so we can heal through it.
Yeah, it would be a perfect opportunity we could generate a new client if you grow your beard out.
Maybe. Shirley's saying, don't forget to support the dudes with the thumbs up. If you're watching on Facebook, there is a link in the description over to the Stir Crazy Shaman YouTube channel. If you do make if you make comments after the broadcast is done, just regular comments, if you give a thumbs up, if you watch the video in the background, all that stuff helps for us to get the word out more. And best of all, take a moment to invite people who you know would benefit from this light play spirited conversation and invite them to watch an episode or two, whichever ones are favorites and that have created change for you. Send those links and invite someone specifically, because there's a whole energy around that being the invitation for somebody to change and have a possibility versus just a random share. What invitation could you be for someone else you know to have a possibility?
Yeah, and also head on over to Shaman's Way. Shaman, I see the word right there. Shaman spelled exactly like that without the apostrophe. Way on YouTube. You'll see my beautiful mug all over the channel. And subscribe there. I do all kinds. That's the logo right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you see that logo, and I do all kinds of shamanic healing. I help free people of physical pain, emotional pain, all kinds of stuff. And I not only have really cool compilations and demonstrations of me doing it out in beautiful nature settings with people in person, but I also do all these live streams where, if you happen to catch me while I am live, so if you're subscribed, you have the notifications turned on, that you catch me while I'm live, then you have a chance to receive a free shamanic healing session through the comments done virtually online.
Yep.
So subscribe to that channel.
Yeah, and you've been doing that a lot with Tony and Mary as well, doing a combination of both of you working on people. Casey and I, on occasion, will also do one where we did like a really cool virtual soul retrieval where there was just this great flow. Like watching it afterwards, like we just weaved back and forth with both talking and chanting, and like it was just beautiful. It was like my
really beautiful
soul retrieval ever, and that one's also on my Instagram. If you go back on Instagram TV, I posted it there. And my channel will look like this logo. It's the Sonic Shaman, and I do have a lot of guests on, and I do my Coffee Connects, and I do live streams all the time with different people. And then there's also Emergence of Being. I don't have that logo ready, but Emergence of Being is another culmination of a whole bunch of guests. Dr. K and I do holistic health and healing on that one every Friday, which we did before this show. So there's like 3 channels you want to subscribe to: Stir Crazy Shamans, well, 4 channels: Stir Crazy Shamans, Shaman's Way, Sonic Shaman, and Emergence of Being. 4. Oh, and Positive Pineapple will throw in too. I think they have a YouTube channel. So
yes,
like there's just all these amazing places that you can catch the content, and we all have our different specialties. So, and Anthony's like the bald and the bearded shaman. We're both, all 3 of us are bald and bearded, actually. That's kind of interesting.
Yes, we are. we're the BBS gang.
Yeah, and my sister's just saying that our grandma Setala likes to hang out with Casey. She hangs out with Casey more than me, apparently. And Kimberly's saying, I've actually been sharing you guys on my sites a lot recently, raising collective consciousness. Thank you for helping to spread the contagion of consciousness, because once people know, they kind of know that they know, and then change starts to happen. And Anthony says, thanks, Hank, you're welcome. Like it's just once we all get together, like I'm really curious what the endless possibilities are, because we haven't even actually met, like the 4 of us together yet, like where we could actually sit down and talk and just have a conversation of possibilities. So what is possible?
Yeah, let's make it happen. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah. But anyway, we're 1 hour and 6 minutes. Anything else, Casey? Are we
with my hand on the Misha? I swear that we will get together and create all kinds of possibilities
in this lifetime or the next, in case there's some tragic event between now and then. Oh, like, let me take that down. And there's 2 more comments. Amazing possibilities, Mary says. Endless opportunities and possibilities. Let's go. See, like, this is the energy of possibility. What would it take for all of you to invite that into your life with whoever you have in your reality? What could you be in creationship to every aspect of divinity around you? And if you can look at that, you're in the even though you're the kingdom of me, you're operating from the kingdom of we, and that's where you can make changes, not just for yourself, but the world. So truly, what else is possible? And yeah, any final thoughts, Casey? Now that I went on another little tangent.
I love you all so much.
We both love you all so much, and I love you, Casey, my dear brother. And my sister said she's actually on the stream. Hi, Shirley, love you. And maybe I should actually, I don't even know if I have your phone number. You should text it to me and whatnot. Make sure I have it.
Hey, your phone number.
I know I'm terrible with phone stuff. I really am. Casey he noticed it too, and he's just like, "What is up with that?" And it's like, I don't know. I really resist phone things, but I have to go to Casey. Can help me with my trauma around phones, and I can help with Casey with his ankle, and it's a win-win.
Yeah. That'll be great.
Yeah, Kimberly's just saying, I love you all. A Nike, Wilka Nuna, Penny Chaikuna, Wilka Nuna, Waku Chaikuna, Rupi Chai Sonkolai. Thank you, sacred soul brothers and sisters. A dove from my heart to you.
Much love.
And with that, we'll catch you next time, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your week.